Welcome to the Ignited Entrepreneurs Podcast, where each week I will chat with an amazing entrepreneur who has figured out their secret sauce to running a successful business and share all of that juicy goodness to help you find your secret sauce to take your next quantum leap in your business.
Creating massive change using 6 human needs psychology. Yes, that's what I said. Massive change. That is the beauty of using this strategy, this technique, this information, this psychology, is that you can create massive change and you can do it fairly quickly. So today I'm going to tell you about the 3 different ways that I successfully use this human needs psychology working with my clients. So the first one is relationships. When you can understand, first of all, your needs and why you do what you do and what your top needs are and what you're trying to do to meet those needs, which we refer to as your vehicle or the way that you meet your need, you can do that healthy and unhealthy. And when you start to see what you're doing, why you're doing it, then you can also start to see the people in your life and maybe look at them differently and see why they do what they do, healthy, unhealthy. And again, we're not talking about changing anybody else. So even once you learn about this stuff and you start to be able to recognize things in other people, it does not mean go change them. What I'm going to teach you is how to change yourself to create a shift in other people. This is based on the law of reciprocity, because when you give to somebody else, eventually they will give back. And so what I teach people in human needs psychology around relationships is if you are truly interested in changing your relationship with somebody and you are dedicated to it, then what I ask of you is to give yourself 3 months of giving unconditionally to that person. Yes, I said unconditionally, and I also mean without any expectation of anything in return, at least initially. Okay? So what that means is that you start to learn how to meet that person's need at a very high level, and they will automatically start to feel so good around you. They won't even know why. All this unconscious stuff is going on, and you are now the person, the thing in their life that meets their needs at such a high level that they automatically just start to feel so good around you that guess what? They will reciprocate. They will start to be nicer to you, and they won't even know why. That's why this stuff is so amazing. You do not need to go and try to change somebody else or try to teach them anything that you're learning. You can simply start acting and reacting completely differently to those people, and they will automatically change over time. But the kicker, I have to reiterate, you have to be willing to put in the time without any expectation. None of this, I'm trying so hard and they're not giving anything back. No, you need to let go of that. You need to be committed to changing the relationship and putting in the time and energy. So that's number 1. That's how you deal with relationships. Number 2 is habits. So we all have some kind of bad habit that we would rather not have. And so using this psychology, these tips, these strategies that I can teach you, I can show you why you do what you do. I can show you why you have the habits that you have and why they're so hard to kick, because they're meeting your needs. So I'll give you an example. Smoking is a really good example. It's really easy for people to understand. So when you are meeting, when you or something that you do is meeting at least 3 of your needs at a high level, you're basically addicted to it because it's easy and it makes you feel good and you don't even realize why. So the same thing as with relationships is when somebody is meeting your needs or something that you do in the case of habits is meeting your needs, you like it. It feels good. You want more of it. And so that's how we get stuck in bad habit cycles. So when you can recognize why you do what you do, so let's go back to smoking. So smoking, when people smoke, they are meeting 3 needs at a very high level. So the first one is certainty. So certainty basically is they are certain that it will make them feel a way. They know how it's going to make them feel. They enjoy that that deep breath that they take, even though they're inhaling poisons. It's still like a meditation, and they know that it's going to give them a sense of relaxation. There's a certainty about how they're going to feel. So that's need number one. The second one is love and connection, and this can be met in a bunch of different ways. Let's just say you're at work and you have a smoking buddy, so now you both get to go take a break, get away, and chit and chat with each other. Or if you don't have a smoking buddy, what's happening is you're still taking that moment away and you're connecting with yourself. So it's love and connection with you. You have that moment. Typically, we do things in the same way. So when somebody gets down to their smoking area, whether it's outside or downstairs or wherever they have to go, and they pull out their cigarette, they light it, they put it in their mouth the same way, they inhale it the same way, they breathe out the same way, they probably sit in the same chair, they probably sit in the same position, they probably have this routine that they go through. It's almost like a meditation, and that is why they become addicted to that. And then the third is variety, because let's just say you're at work and you're having a shitty day and you just need to get away from the desk for a few minutes. Well, that's what you do. You go, I'm going for a cigarette, because it gives you that variety. It gives you a chance to just break away from whatever it is that you're doing and have some moment of something different. So that right there tells you why it is so hard for people to quit smoking. But this applies to so many of our habits, right? Overeating, not exercising, like the things that we do that are not necessarily so good for us. But then it's also that we can meet these needs in a positive way. So let's take exercise for an example. When somebody is like really addicted to exercise and it's almost painful for them to not go, it's because it's meeting their needs. And so we can choose to have healthy habits, bad habits, and all it really is meeting our needs. So when you understand this, then you can choose to meet your needs in a different way. So let's just say the person who's a smoker, they want to quit smoking. So if you were to examine this from a needs point of view, what needs are they meeting? They're meeting the need for certainty. So what else can they do? They could make themselves a cup of coffee. Because again, they can be certain that that cup of coffee, providing that they make it the way that they like it, that it's going to taste the way they want it to taste. And they can get their love and connection because they're going to have that sip of coffee and it's going to taste so good and they're going to enjoy that moment. And they could even still get up and get away from their desk. They have to go make the coffee somewhere else. They can even call a coworker and say, hey, meet you at the coffee pot, right? So you still get all of those same needs met in a different way. Coffee may not necessarily be the best choice, not necessarily the healthiest for you either, but I think you get the drift. And then the third way that I like to use this to help my clients is because you basically can change absolutely anything you want. You can take this visual that you can create. So there are 6 needs, and what you do is you list them all out. Specifically, if you have them, if you've worked with me and you already know what your top needs are, those top 2 are essential. They are the ones that are really, really going to dial you into what's going on. But either way, you still want to be able to meet all of your needs in every different area of your life at a fairly high level. So you can list out all these 6 needs. Again, growth, love, contribution, significance, variety, and certainty. So you can list them out, and then you can ask yourself in any specific area, how much of this variety need am I meeting at work? And you can rate yourself. And then you can say, oh, wow, like I'm really not getting a lot of variety at work at all. It's maybe like a 4 out of 10. Okay, so that's your visual. Now you know what needs to be fixed. So you can start to brainstorm, okay, how can I find more variety at work? Maybe I can, get involved in other projects, or maybe I can choose to train somebody else, or do you know what I mean? Like you can start to find ways that you can increase your need in that area, and you can do that for all areas of your life. And that is how you can use these needs to create massive change in your life. All right, see you next time.